And we're back for another episode. In this episode, we're going to be doing the follow-up to the level 50 quest and also the level 52 Machinist Quest. And as always, hello from Mithrie. So we are here with Steph at the steel manufactory in Foundation at 810. So let's talk to him. So the first quest, level 50 quest, is called A Joyless Celebration. Now the thing is, guys, I've been doing Palace of the Dead and all my roulettes so much these days that my machinist has already overtaken my bard in leveling, which is just insane. It's like Palace of the Dead is the way to level alt classes at the moment. It really is. So Steph wishes to celebrate your tourney victory. So with our tourney victory, we have indelibly etched the machinist's presence in the minds of the Holy See. And now that my father has relinquished the running of the manufactory to me, it would seem our fortunes have at last taken a turn for the better. Father has also formally responded to Lord Tedell's promising our support in House Dezamel's next sortie. I am not yet privy to the details of the operation, but I imagine the role Tedell will choose for us shall be both demanding and dangerous. In his attempt to humiliate Machinist, however, he will only provide us with another stage on which to prove our worth. A victory in the field will garner us greater support for the Holy See, and will allow me to apportion funds towards the development of ever more potent weapons. Thus, 'tis vitally important that we see this operation succeed, but an equally important matter must be addressed ere we delve too deeply into such concerns. The celebration of our tourney triumph. We must have Joy and Rost join us for the festivities. But I believe Joy's service are yet required at the manor. Pray seek out our master of marksmanship first, if you would. Okay, so let's go talk to Rost first. Where is Rost? There he is. That was such a long and hard journey to find him. So, a party, is it? Bah, I ain't going. All I did during the tourney was watch. How can you say that, Master Ross? Without your instruction, we'd never have stood a chance. And now look at us, upstart commoners defeating the likes of seasoned knights. I taught you how to shoot, aye, but the tourney victory was something you managed all on your own. I could see arguing with you ain't gonna get me nowhere. I'll just drag you back to the workshop instead. But still, we can't begin the festivities without Joy. This time of day, she'll be at her chores in the manor house. Maybe if you talk to the Count, he'll let her leave early to attend the celebration. She want to abandon her duties half done, though. It'd be best to approach the Count directly and not give her a chance to object. Aye, the lass is awfully serious about her work. Wouldn't want her keeling over from guilt now, would we? Kneeling. So the Count should be home if you don't mind talking to him. I'll be sure the instructor here makes it to the celebration. It's like, yay, the team won, but I had nothing to do with it, so I don't care. This is what happens when you let your ego get in the way of things. So, let's go. Last vigil. Okay, so let's talk to Count de Hulenart. So, there is to be celebration, is there? Aye, and naturally you have come to fetch Joy. Pray return to the manufactory, and I shall be along forthwith to explain why she ain't be attending. She shan't be attending. Oh, wow. Mean. Not unless she's sick or something. Okay, let's go back to the... Here it is, manufactory. Eventually I'll learn the order of these teleports. We split. Okay, here he is. Cutscene. So, everyone is present, yes? Once again, pray allow me to congratulate you all on your tourney performance. Ere you celebrate your victory, however, I have news. What is it, father? 'Twas quite a sudden development, but Joy has wed. Bloody hells, well, there's another good reason to bring out the grog. Wed? I had heard naught of an engagement. She is gone then? Aye, Joy's chambers at the manor have already been emptied, and now that she's married, I do not foresee her returning to the manufactory. She left behind her firearm. Wait, was Joy's getting married got to do with her leaving the workshop? Within the walls of Ishgard, 'tis usual the unwed what serve the manor houses. Many retire from such work upon the day of their marriage, as young Joy has done. 'Tis all too much, now that we have at last earned a modicum of recognition. 'Tis ill-timed indeed to lose such a talented a machinist. She is probably kidnapped. It would seem that familial circumstances, that's a stupid word, demanded a swift union to be made. And let us not bemoan what is lost. Let us instead raise a toast to the happiness Joy has found. You must needs accept that your colleague has moved on and adapt your strategies accordingly. House Duzamel will call upon you soon, and I expect to hear great things from this allied operation. P.S. I love you, son. A yawning abyss has opened in our ranks. How could she leave us without so much as a final farewell? Familiar circumstances? Has something ill befallen her dad? I wonder. Celost, you are acquainted with Joy's father? Aye, we oft hunted together. He was the one what suggested I try me hand here at the workshop. Told me his daughter's found herself a decent job with a fine employer. Then mayhap he can also tell you whether his daughter has gone. I would fain convince both the wife and her new husband to accept positions at the manufactory. I'll speak with him, my lord. I don't much fancy talking to the field without Joy and her uncanny aim at my side. Or taking to the field. So even should Joy refuse my overture, however, we cannot simply abandon our obligation to House Duzamel. Ross, you must drill your students without quarter. I'll push them as hard as you like, boss, as long as I'm fairly compensated. The celebration shall have to wait, Mithrie. Unless we can persuade Joy to return, the burdens of battle must be divided betwixt those of us who remain. Can't you just say between? Weirdo. But surely she'll come back to us. Surely. Okay, complete. Okay, the next Machinist Quest, level 52. Okay, so now this is the real purpose of this video. Now let's do the level 52 quest. So the level 52 quest is called Pushing the Brum, and we'll get the ability Gore's Barrel. Equips your current firearm with a Gore's Barrel, increasing damage dealt by 30%. While the barrel is equipped, auto attack will stop, and all machinist weapon skills will require casting time. Effect ends upon reuse. Okay. So Staff would ask you your assistance in his latest project. So, there you are, Mithrie. It would seem that 'tis not only Joy, but her father as well, who has vanished from the city. Celost is asking questions, but there are few answers to be had. Rather than sit here on our hands whilst we wait for a revelation, however, I would prefer we begin preparations for our engagement alongside House Duzamel. The Duzamels have been struggling to restore the township of Falcon's Nest, an enterprise that has been interrupted time and again by marauding Dravanians. The signs are a steady trickle of scouting reports, suggests that the dragons are massing for a significant assault on the settlement. Its fortifications are not yet complete, and 'twill be the aim of the Allied operation to defend these half-finished structures from the ravages of the Horde. I expect House Hullenart shall be positioned on the front lines of this conflict. Should we fight well, the dragons will be routed. Should we fight poorly, our reputation will suffer. From Lord Tidal's perspective, either result is a victory. For the future of machinistry, however, we cannot afford to fail. Thus have I focused my energies towards designing an attachment that will improve our chances of success. Now, the problem, which I was hoping you might help me solve, is the acquisition of suitable components. The simplest way to create new technology is by repurposing the old. To that end, I would have you infiltrate Gastrum Sentry and salvage a good number of machinima parts. The Guardians there may take a dim view of your efforts to liberate their supplies. I'm sure. So Castrum Sentry is in Mordona, all the way there. So you can either go to Revenant's Toll or you can go to Mordona. Now, I have been having a lot of fun with leveling the classes and stuff like that, but at the same time, I'll be perfectly honest about it, I am kind of worried, like, how quickly I'm getting it done. Because what that means is that once everything is 60, I'm probably going to have 6 months to wait until the expansion, which might actually diminish the fun I have in the game, if you know what I mean. So, like, fine, I'll get back to crafting, but the crafting will be, like, if I level the crafting on Ori, for example, will be the third time I've leveled all the crafting classes to 60. So it's not even the second time, it's the third. So I need to be careful how I manage my time in 14 going forward. It doesn't mean I'm going to delay getting everything to 60. It just means that you will see me playing more and more other games on my channel while we're waiting for the expansion. And of course I will be in 14 constantly to keep up to date with 3.45 for the 3.5 story and so on. And we'll see if there's a 3.55 as well. But yeah, it's just I have to be very careful what I'm going to do with the future, because I'm almost at game complete before the expansion. You know what I mean? It's like, once you're 60 everything, what is left to do other than just gear up and max out stats, which will all become irrelevant once the expansion launches, because everything will be raised to level 70. So that's the reason I've put more emphasis on leveling rather than gearing up, because leveling lasts forever. Gearing up only lasts until while the gear is useful, if you know what I mean. Yeah, he didn't see me. Ha ha ha. In the real world, my mount should have knocked him over, but this is not the real world, so. Okay. I wish you could summon your minion and your chocobo at the same time. This game's almost silly that you can't. Okay. Now, I am enjoying Machinist, but I do feel that there's too many abilities on Machinist, I'll be perfectly honest. So like here we have a silence move, we have a stun move, we have a slow bind move, we have a kite move, like a slow movement speed move. We have so many CC abilities. We have a move which reduces the damage they deal. We have a move which increases my damage that I deal. It seems really too much, you know, to all have all of that on one class. It really should be spread out between multiple classes. So anyway, let's carry on. Hopefully when they simplify the classes in the expansion, that will be part of the balance, to not have one class that's got so many debuffs and then others that barely have any. Okay, let's carry on. Always keep my chocobo handy because it's so powerful now. It's like, I'm sure my chocobo could solo these mobs. Oh, I keep forgetting. This is one thing as well. I keep forgetting to put up the turret and so on. And they always tell me that I should start with lead shot because it does better. Thank God my chocobo's here to heal. Look at that. 1,953 choco cure. It's so good. It just means I don't have to kite it around. I could just stand and tank. But yeah. Okay, next. So if you haven't been leveling up your chocobo, guys, I recommend you do. It's really, really useful. And the way I level up my chocobo is every single week I take advantage of the companion challenge log. This number, the amount of EXP you get, if you kill 100 mobs with your chocobo that give you XP, is 15% of the level. It's percentage based, it's not a fixed amount of EXP. So, because it's percentage based, it means every few weeks you will get another level for your chocobo. And for that reason, I am 1 week away from being ranked 20 with my Chocobo. I'm maxed out. So that's how because people have been asking me how I've been doing it. That's how I've been doing it. Okay, let's just kill this guy. Rip. Okay. Well, there he is. Another fight. Okay, let's do hot shot. Let's do lead shot. Let's use some cooldowns, why not? Let's knock him back because we can. Let's slow movement speed him so we can start kiting around. Let's dismantle him. So like I said, there's so many, like by the time I've even done all of my abilities on him, he's dead. Cool, done. So let's return now to the manufactory and foundation to go. So we will see what the future has to hold when I am 60 everything. I might start the mentor system at that point, because at least then I will know all the classes. And I probably will practice rotations on every class as well. Maybe I'll make a bunch of guides about each class, but the thing is as well, I will put a note on all those videos if I make them, that this is a as of now video. Like a second expansion launches, expect everything to change with them refining the system. So anyway, here is Steph. So with Joy gone from the workshop, I have no one else to whom I can entrust such duties. It is no simple task, I know, but I must have those components. So let's hand over the components. So it says complex looking contraptions employed by the Garlean Empire to repair their Magitech machinery. So hand over. So splendid. These parts will do much to speed the construction of my invention. Now, if only Joy were returned to us. Despite Celesto's most earnest efforts, however, it would appear that its contacts in the Broom have elected to spurn his inquiries. I sense an unseen hand and a sizable purse behind the sudden rash resistance or reticence. Speak normally, man. Mayhap if you were to ask after the old hunter's disappearance instead, then the Broom's inhabitants would be more forthcoming. Okay, so we have to go to the Broom, which is right here. So we can teleport right there conveniently. It's not that far, it's only like 10 seconds down that way, but we're going to use the A-Flight anyway just because we can. So the Broom, let's go. It does actually grind my gears when someone uses complicated words just for the sake of using complicated words. Who? You mean the one whose daughter caught herself a husband in Falcon's Nest? He's probably there with her, ain't he? Oh, that was a bit direct. Okay. It would be funny if it's flipping Tadal, who is the husband. So, that old hunter fellow, I thought he'd left to start a new job someplace else. He was always cursing how his old wounds kept him from practicing his trade, but I suppose he found himself something new. Okay, and then let's go up here for the last one. I do like the stories of these classes. And I would recommend to all players to really embrace the stories. Pay attention to them. Don't just skip the quest text. So, the creaky old hunter. I fear he's got himself paying work and his saw. And saw this little girl get married on the same day. Was that English? So the husband said to be the brother of some famous carpenter, and that he don't even need a job to get by. And that he don't even need... Okay. My man. It's like, why? Okay, so let's talk to Steph again. So back to the steel manufactory. I wonder if it's my reading skills, or if it is just written really weirdly. Like, why is it so weird to me? This is English, I don't get it. Okay, let's carry on. Here's Steph. So, were you able to wring any information from the Broom? Yes, everything. A new job for him, and a new husband for his daughter in Falcon's Nest. They've been talking on a good number of labourers and such to help with the town's restoration. Even a half-crippled old hunter might find some kind of work for himself there. Yes, my prospectometer points on unerringly to the west. We shall head to the Falcon's Nest and seek out Joy and her father. Okay, so let's teleport to Falcon's Nest. Very noisy neighborhood. I find it funny when people have this tiny moped and it's like, meh. Okay, let's carry on. There is he. Oh, right there. Look. Waiting. We're looking at a wall. So yeah, if we look at the wall close enough... Oh yeah, look, we succeeded, see? You just have to stare at a wall and then things happen. Any sign of her? No, I was looking at a wall for half an hour. There she is. His lordship. What is he doing here? Joy, please, I ask only that you listen a moment. Will you and your husband not consider working for me in the manufactory? I can't do that, my lordship. I can't be a machinist no more. It's best for everyone if I leave that life behind. What do you mean, best for everyone? Is that what is best for you? All I want for me is a simple life, one that doesn't cause problems for those who've shown me such kindness. I'm glad we could talk this one last time, my lordship. I'll be praying that you and your machinist get the recognition you deserve. She has freckles. Bye. I always thought Joy was happiest when she had the stock of her flintlock in hand. Will she now sacrifice her happiness for the satisfaction of others? Or is it that she never truly wished to be a machinist and merely suffered the training at my insistence? I like his outfit, by the way. I should get this outfit for Mithrie. So, by arming the commoners, 'twas my intention to place them on equal footing with the nobles who seek to rule them, but caught in the throes of self-righteous ambition, mayhap I have treated them no better. It seems his lordship is having himself a crisis of faith. Might be as you could lend him a sympathetic ear, eh? I'll join you back at the workshop in a bit. There's something I want to look into first. Cool. So where do we go? Where is Steph? Oh wow, okay. He left. He went straight back to the manufactory. So let's go. And in half a level, we can do the 54 quest. Just like that. Easy peasy. Especially, like, it's incredibly fast, especially given the fact that I started Machinist at level 30. So I've done 23 levels in, like, what, a week? Which is absolutely ridiculous, to be honest. So, for anyone who plays a game as much as me, I'm approaching 7,000 hours in this game. Yeah. And guys, if you don't believe my playtime, look at this. You can do /playtime. Mithrie has 249 days, 9 hours, 10 minutes played. If you add on the time I've played on Mr. Blue Sideburns and Ori, it's approaching 7,000 hours. So yeah. So anyway, here's Steph. So I have run my prospectometer through all possible permutations, and the result is always the same. We focus on preparations for the Allied operation. So we just give up on bringing Joy back? Should we fail House Duzamel, then the reputation we built at the tourney will crumble into dust. We would have to begin again, brick by painful brick. A moment, my lord. I lingered behind in Falcon's Nest to see if I could find Joy's father, but he was nowhere to be found. I've got a feeling something ain't right here. If Joy herself has no wish to be a machinist, then what more can I do? It is not my place to meddle in her affairs. Oh, I see how it is. I'd thought you'd different from the other nobles, but you're all the same. Only interested in helping commoners as long as they're doing your bidding. Well, I've had enough talk taking orders. It's time I went my own way. My grand plans for the future of machinistry, have they all been in vain? We have come this far, that is for you to judge. Let's do the first one. We have, you and I. And speaking of which, I had promised you to use those components you brought me back to build a new attachment. If not else, we have certainly made advances in the field of machinistry. Such a tangible measure of progress cannot be ignored. Yes, my prospectometer was so overloaded with peripheral problems, I failed to see the practical evidence of our success. The path is steep and our steps are small, but that does not mean the destination is beyond us. I will ask much of you in the coming days, Mithrie, and I shall see that you are the most well-equipped machinist in the short history of machinistry. Cool, that's complete. So, what's interesting about this barrel is basically it stops auto-attacking, like you auto-attacking, but you can just put up your turret to do auto-attacks. So, and as a machinist, there's never been a moment really when I haven't just been hitting weapon skills non-stop, because look, I've got so many of them. But anyway, we'll come towards that at a later time. So that's it for this episode, guys. Thank you for watching, and as always, goodbye from me, and goodbye from Mithrie.